This town's so lame, I'm feeling so wired. It's 4 a.m. I'm not even
Hello and welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to take you all along with a homeschool day of 4 kids. So they're all in the background. We're getting ready to start our homeschool day. It's definitely on the late side. It's a little past 9:30, but it is snowing and sleeting and raining outside. So we decided to take a nice easy morning. I did some research as far as what I'm doing for curriculum for next year. Definitely haven't made any decisions yet because that's going to be a big rabbit hole if I get that going this morning. So my goal is to go ahead, I need to clean up the breakfast dishes and then get them homeschooled, and then I'm hoping to go down in the basement and go through all of my homeschool curriculum, and guys, I have a lot, and see what I have, because I'm really torn on whether we're going to do whole grade kits again from BJU Press, or if we're going to switch over and do a few family unit style things. So I will decide, and I'll take you along as I decide. All right, so to get this day going, I don't really care if like 2 of my kids stay in their PJs because it is a chilly morning in here. So my preschooler, I usually don't start school with first thing in the morning unless she's the first one up and nobody else is. Then we go ahead and we get her school done. But otherwise, she gets free playtime in the morning. My 5th grader, we have kind of switched over to doing mostly parent-led with her, so she's going to be getting all the supplies out, and we end up doing that right here at the kitchen table. Don't worry, yes, there's a huge mess here, but the opposite side is clean for us to do school. We are doing a whole bunch of remodeling things, so our house is definitely in a disarray from it. And so don't worry, it will get taken care of sooner or later. Like my laundry room has been ripped out, my bathroom's ripped out. We just did all painting. It's just a lot. All right, so this is one of my kindergartners and this is one of my kindergartners. So they end up doing school right here on the couches where they're nice and comfortable. We stream the videos online up here. So they just got done with their K-5 math a few weeks ago, and they are doing first grade math. And especially this little one was super excited to be able to switch over to that. Today they're already on lesson 20 for it, and this is a cumulative review. So then tomorrow they're already on chapter 4 of first grade math, which is so crazy because I feel like they're still babies. This one over here is super comfortable. He's got his heated blanket. So when I tell them it's school time, they know to go over to our little caddy. Usually this is in the dining room, but with the painting, we've moved it in here. So they know exactly what to grab for each subject. So they both have their work text page. They grab crayons because they were going to need that. And then I will see if they need any manipulatives. All right, so for kindergarten K-5 math, we end up doing the DVDs, and I just stream that through the PS4 that just sits right here, and I stream it onto our TV because that way both kids can see it very easily. Then I end up switching over for first grade math, switching over to distance learning online. So what I do, our TV is a smart TV. I just log into my account on there, and then I have them go ahead and still do it on the TV, but yet it gives us the freedom too, if I'm out and about, that I can put it on my phone, or we can pull it up on a computer, or whatever we need. So they're on day 22. It says administer chapter 3 test. I'm still torn on whether I'm going to do tests for them because it's such a young grade still. Then on day 22, it also says there's no assignment, but we end up skipping that because I just don't want to waste a day on only doing a test. I feel like they have more attention span than that. So we're going to go ahead and go down a little bit further, and it says do the cumulative review with them. So that's what they're going to work on today. And if you go down a little bit further, it lets you know what materials are needed. So a digit folder for Math 1, all that is a folder with a little picture of the digit character on it. And then you're supposed to put the work text page or anything that they're needing in there. So it does look like they need a handout, and then they need the red mat from the manipulatives package. This Math 1 review, we have chosen not to do. Those are extra practice pages for each lesson, and I feel like my kids do really well. A Cecilia box is almost just like a little shoe box that you put any manipulatives in that they need. So they need 10 pennies, and then they need 20 counter clowns. So we'll go ahead and we'll get those items out before we get started. And then it says also you could do a box of sand as extra material. I don't know that I'm going to do that because obviously anything that we would have sand with is soaked outside right now. So if I want to do this little project with them, I would just put some sugar into a pan for them to do. Here is, if you are missing any of your handouts, usually they will have a link right here that you can print it out for. And then we're going to go ahead and get the video started. So one thing if you're doing distance learning online is it depends on your internet connection. So if you live in a really small rural town that you don't have good internet connection, it might not be the best option for you. Whereas we live in a bigger town and we have great internet connection. So it works great for us.
Let's get ready for math. Today you'll need your digit folder, your Cecilia box and your supply box, and a small box of sand.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get those few manipulatives that they were needing too so that they can keep going as I work with my 5th grader. But otherwise, they're almost independent with setting all this up, which is great. So my 5th grader has already came and grabbed English and got it started while I was talking to you guys. So we are on chapter
15.
15 out of
16.
Out of 16 chapters. So we are almost done with English. We've already finished spelling for the year. English will almost be done. And our goal is we are going to be done within this next month. So at the end of tax season, we will be done because my husband's an accountant and we just really want a nice break. So she's working hard to get done with it. So we still have math, heritage studies, spelling, and some reading to complete for the school year. All right, so we are going to get going on English and they are going on math. And then the preschooler back there is picking out a fun little workbook.
To put these pennies in my jar right here, and I wondered if you would be able to help me count them. Look at all these pennies.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking?
No! You will leave my pencil. Why do you always lose your pencil? Mommy did the thing on it.
Okay.
I'm 13 minutes out.
Yep. All right, number 1.
Without.
Yes. 2.
Over.
Yes.
Through.
Right, so we are just correcting what she ended up doing. I worked all weekend and sometimes we're kind of working during the weekends for homeschool just to try to get it done, and also because sometimes I work during the school week. And so she did a few things while I was at work this weekend. So we're just going through and we're correcting the things that she did while I was at work before we move on to the next assignment. And that way I can catch any bad habits that she has gotten and I can correct them before they become bigger bad habits. Prepositional phrases. The object of the preposition is the noun or pronoun that follows the preposition in a sentence. To find the object of the preposition, say the preposition and ask the question what or why.
Mama!
So the ancient, do that one. Here you go. All right, so the ancient Greeks believed in many gods. So what's our preposition? In. So in what or in whom?
Gods.
Yeah, in gods. So many drops out and gods is our object of the preposition. And our prepositional phrase was in. All right, so a prepositional phrase begins with a preposition, ends with the object of the preposition, and includes all the words between them. All right, so let's go down to guided practice. So put parentheses around each prepositional phrase. Underline the simple subject once and the verb twice. Insert missing commas using the caret. So that was my daily alarm that I have set for 10 a.m. every single day for us to go outside and play for 30 days. So usually no matter where we're at in the curriculum, we stop and we go outside for 30 minutes. But meaning today is a snowy, now it's really starting to snow. Meaning today is a snowy, bad day outside. There's no way we can get outside. We're gonna go ahead and work through this, meaning we just kind of got started, and I will give them a break a little bit later inside to do something fun. Here's the hard part sometimes. We don't only sit in the living room either. Most of the time we're in there in the dining room. So I'm reading out loud to her. They're going to be trying to listen to their videos, and then she comes back and forth and talks to me. So life as a homeschool mom is you're distracted by 15 million different ways, but you make it work. So we're gonna get back to work. All right, so this is the lesson we are doing for today. So I just read along with her and do these examples up top. Then usually on the front page, which this is exactly what she is seeing in her work text page. So on the front page, we do these together. Then when she flips to the back page, this is when I have her do that work text alone, and we check stuff as we go. And that way I can tell if she understands it or not. So I do like BJU Press teachers manuals because they really give you like exactly what to do throughout the lesson. Some subjects I use this a lot more than other subjects. In English, I feel like both of us are very strong in English and math, and usually I don't use the actual teaching part. I utilize this part. But every now and then when we do have a confusing or harder area in those subjects, I like that this is here for me. And then we also have the videos as backup. And then BJU Press also has an after school help website that you can go on that has extra videos also to help with certain subjects. So lots of extra help if you don't feel like you can teach certain subjects.
You had me at
You want me naked?
cause where you go is where I go.
She says that she knows, and then she's like,
I
I
don't
don't.
need nobody else.
So they needed all 20 of these clowns all punched out, and I normally have this done before I even start the curriculum, but we've just been so busy and we're starting the curriculum in the middle of a school year. So all of these clowns already have like pre-cut areas and perforations. So I just fold over the cardstock so that they come out even easier. So this literally is just going to take me a couple of minutes to get them all ready. While I'm doing this, they were getting the 10 pennies that they needed out of their piggy banks. Let me know down below, where are you from, and do you still have snow on the ground, or have you recently gotten snow? So this last week and a half was beautiful outside and spring weather for the Midwest, and all our 2.5 feet of snow that has been in our yard forever finally melted, and then a few days later we get snow again. So this shouldn't stick around though, hopefully. So they do give money stuff in the manipulative packets to punch out too, but a lot of times we just grab real money instead because I feel like it's more beneficial. They have fun, they look in their piggy banks, and they have to decide like what the penny is and what the dime is and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's real life, hands-on learning. So the theme of Math 1, if you haven't noticed, are clowns. So Digit is a clown character that is the main character, and Cecilia is his little seal buddy. So these are the two characters. So with every single subject, these two do things with the kids, and they really, really enjoy it. So all of the manipulatives have to do with who those characters are. Like there's seals, all the shapes you end up needing, but then all the mats have to do with stories that they begin at every single chapter of what Cecilia and Digit are doing. The 5th grader is finishing up her independent part in English, and she decided to come over here and lay next to the fireplace to get it done. That way too, she's not in front of the TV where there's a lot of distractions, and she's nice and warm. Then This little one decided to go upstairs and get dressed for me for the day, so she's all ready. And then she's got her little backpack on that is full of toys that she's ready to play with. The kindergartners are in getting a drink real quick, but otherwise they have been sorting their clowns into pairs and trying to say how many pairs there are in 20 clowns or 10 clowns and stuff like that. I did leave the manipulative packet out because I might punch everything out today if I have time and it's not too distracting to the other children. This one wants me to get her hair punched.
They were in high school when they met, and things got kinda awkward. With sparks in the air.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 pairs and 20 with no clowns left over, so 20 is an even number. Great.
Alright, so real quick, while they are all doing their little independent work, I'm going to go ahead and try to clean up a little bit of this mess that we have from breakfast. Sometimes I get this done instantly, and other times I just have to take a little break and get them going first.
Promise nobody can steal me away, then I am yours. Cause I want you, and I wanted you to know. He looked at her and then he smiled, picked up a pen and paper, and started writing. Probably something about her eyes and how they're always shining, or something cliche like ooh.
Alright, so I cleared off the counters. They're not perfect, but they're at least functional. As I said, we're doing remodeling stuff, so we have a lot of extra things on the counter right now anyways. So I am going to go ahead, get my cleaner out, and clean down some of these surfaces.
And how nobody can steal me.
I want to go ahead and jump in here and let you guys know this is a two-part video. So part one is what we do all the way from breakfast till lunchtime, and then part two will be lunchtime after. There is homeschool on both sides, there's cleaning on both sides, so I really want to let you know what it's like to be a homeschool mom.
Under the moonlight as they kept on dancing.
Right, so everything is wiped down, it's ready to go. I have the dishes soaking in there. I'm not going to get to them quite yet. And then I have counter space to work later on. So I need to get back to my 5th grader before she gets too distracted.
They're in love now, and I wanted you to know.
Right, she's getting the table washed real quick so we could move school into here. So we're gonna get every subject out here in a little bit. This over here is her little leprechaun trap that she has been working on. And so Wednesday, here in a couple days, is already St. Patrick's Day, so she needs to get that done. She had her little plan all drawn up on the whiteboard and everything, so she's working on that. Then this is a new flooring option that we might do. We're really in between what we are going to end up doing at all. So, all right, time to get to 5th grade again. Okay, so as she finishes that up, I'm gonna show you guys here. We have gotten a lot of snow really fast. I think we're only supposed to get like 1 to 3 inches, but my neighbor's already shoveled his driveway and it looked like we at least have 1.5 inches super, super fast. So we'll see what we end up with. All right, Lexi, go get all 5th grade items. She's gonna clean as long as she can so she doesn't have to do school.
Say something that will make my day. Cause these memories of her.
All right, so my 5th grader is over there. She is going to be checking what she did for English. Now that that's done, it's 11 o'clock, so it's definitely way later than what we normally get done, but I think this time change has kind of thrown us for a loop also. So then I want to show you what it's like to homeschool multiple ages, and literally I'm like a ping pong ball on every single day. So life as a homeschooler mom, like you're a ping pong all the time. So I'm pinging over to 5th grade, then I'm pinging back in here to my kindergartners, and then I have this sweet little 4-year-old that also needs some attention. So I'm pinging back and forth to her. So I find if her bucket's full and she's nice and happy, then I can concentrate on the other ones and we can get done earlier, and then everybody gets good attention after that. So what we end up doing, sorry about the noise in the background and stuff, but I need to keep them going on school. So what we end up doing sometimes is playing some computer games. So we end up doing a subscription to Reading Eggs every year. I just renewed it for the 2nd year, and I have to say we really, really love it, and I just got a really great deal on renewing it. And so all 4 of my kids are able to do Reading Eggs and Math Seeds. So they're both the same things, like they're both in the same subscription. So up here I will just pick Kenzie's, and I'm going to push to start. All right, so then it goes to her own homepage, and I have the choices of doing fast phonics. That's usually ages 5 through 10, so it's a little above her reading level. Reading Eggs, this is ages 3 through 7, and then Math Seeds ages 3 through 9. Then there's this library that has extra books and games and everything such as that. So today I want her to work on her reading skills, and for this it just looks like recognizing letters and sounds of the letters and such. So she really enjoys it because really she just feels like she's getting game time. So this is her little board. She earns little eggs that she could buy stuff with. This says it's sport month. I wonder what you get to do. All right, so there's different story lands, there's spelling, there's driving tests, there's story factory, and then down here are a whole bunch of games, puzzles, and such that they can do extra. So she is on this lesson. We're gonna click. It will open to exactly where she left off before. So we're gonna go ahead and click. All right, so she's doing tiles. Use the letter tiles to make the word.
Make the word at.
So it shows her the word, it says the word, and then she has to use these to drag up here. So she's gonna go ahead. I'm gonna scoot her a little closer to it. She is right next to us, so this is literally right behind where we are. And so I know exactly what she's clicking on. She has done really great. She knows not to click out of this program. She knows not to do extra things and everything. And so it's nice and easy that she's right next to me also. All right, so she is going at Reading Eggs, and then what do you need?
It's done with math.
Oh, they just got done with math. So before I get going with my 5th grader, see, here it is. For about 15 minutes I've been trying to get going with my 5th grader, and the other kids are kind of distracting me. So they're done with math, so what they're going to do is move on to Focus on Fives, which is their kindergarten curriculum. We use a DVD and we put it into the PS4, so they're working on getting all that set up. All right guys, let's get our Focus on Fives. Like I said, usually for Focus on Fives and for math, I end up tearing out the work text pages and I put them into separate envelopes. So we have a red day, a green day, a blue day, a purple day, and a black day. And I just haven't done that these last couple of weeks because we've been so crazy busy. So now they're just grabbing out their binders to utilize. All right, so I have to say that I enjoy the envelope system better because I do find these binders are harder for them to hold on their laps, which is why we have lap trays for them to use too. But I also find they're just a little too distracting for this age range. All right, so we are going to see what lesson we're on. We are getting close to being done too. Our goal is also to be done within the next month, and then you'll be in what grade?
2nd grade.
Not 2nd grade. What comes after?
Focus on 5, 4th grade.
1st grade. Yeah, so then they'll be all 1st grade.
We'll be, well, it's going to be the next year, but we'll be on 2nd grade.
Yeah, you gotta finish your 1st grade math and then it'll be 2nd grade math.
Yeah.
So as you can see, they have a process that they do. When I say it's time for Focus on Fives, they know exactly what to grab, where to turn. Brooklyn grabbed her lap tray because that's easier for her, so she's gonna sit on the floor for that. And then Beckett's gonna sit up on the couch for his. So we didn't put everything away for math. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. for today, I just need to get going with my 5th grader. We did this lesson last time. Now we are on lesson 116. So you just look down here in the corner and it lets you know. And then seeing that there's these boxes, I know that there is extra things that I need for this. I could go ahead and watch the video and it'll tell me exactly what I need. But I know that they are in the back of their binder. All right, so in the back of their binder here, there's a whole bunch of cutouts. So they have written what lesson that they go with, which makes it so nice and easy. I do find that a lot of parents don't realize these are back here at first and they think like, where are my cutouts? So they will need the top part of this. And so I'm going to go ahead and tug that out. And then I'm going to get back to lesson 116 for him. And that way he knows he has all the supplies that he needs. I'm going to do exactly this for his twin sister. Then I have the DVD right here and it says the lessons. So day 116A is science and day 116B is language arts. We have been doubling up lately just because we have the time and energy and we want to get done before nice weather gets done. So they might do 117A and 117B also. So I just put this right in our PS4. 116A, push it and it will automatically start. I'm going to give him his binder back. And he went ahead and he got his second binder here on the 116. All right, it's almost 11:30, and so here we are another half hour later and not really much done. She said she wants to work on science next. So we're gonna see where we left off and keep rolling. She is putting our English away that we just corrected and went through, and that way we know when the table's clear that our school day is done. All right, so we are on lesson 141 and 142 out of 180. Yeah, out of 180 lessons, but we sometimes are even doing 4 or 5 lessons out one time just because the pure fact that some of these lessons they want you to read like 1, maybe 2 pages and then just be done, whereas I feel like she's very capable of doing more than that. So we're gonna get going for the day. All right, so visible spectrum. If you try to walk through a dark room, you may stumble or bump into things. Without light, there is no vision. You see the objects around you because light bounces off them. Light makes things visible or able to be seen. Light also gives object colors. The different colors of the light that we can see now are called the visible spectrum.
The different colors of light that we can see are called the visible spectrum.
All right, so what we end up doing is any of the vocabulary words that are in bold, she repeats what the definition is, and that way hopefully she's hearing it from me, she's seeing it into her book, and then she's saying it out loud too. So hopefully that helps. As you can see, there is not a perfect homeschool day. You can hear all this background noise. So the clock was just going off. The kindergartners have their video going and it's pretty loud. Then the 4-year-old right across from us on the computer is watching different stories to do on reading eggs. And so there's a lot of noise coming to us. One thing I have ended up doing with her for most subjects is that I read whatever out loud because A, it goes a little bit faster, but then back to the I am hearing it and I'm seeing it, and then every now and then I have her start reading too because it becomes a lot of reading for me. So what do we call the colors of visible light arranged in order by their wavelengths?
Visible spectrum.
There it is. Or who proved that light is made up of many different colors?
Isaac Newton.
It's still coming down like crazy, and this one has the right mood today, just napping. So the other very interesting thing about our dog is that I think she understands our homeschool schedule. Like during the day, she knows that we are busy trying to get school done, so everybody's doing their little projects and trying to get stuff done and be productive. So during the day, this dog ends up sleeping most of the time, and then once our school day ends up getting done, suddenly she starts bringing us her toys and everything, wanting to play again. So I think she completely understands what's going on. All right, so we just completed in science lesson 141, 142, and 143. We were doing all the quizzes, but I just find it's just too much all the time. There's like a quiz every other day and then tests, and so I've kind of backed off a little bit on those quizzes, and we take more time discussing what we're actually reading. So we have, let's see, a few more lessons, and then we're really excited about the last couple of chapters. All right, so here is the table of contents for, this is Science 5. And so we've literally done it all. We are right here on light. So we are in chapter 10, and then all we have left is chapter 11 and 12. And I'm a nurse, and she is considering she wants to be a nurse when she grows up. So we're really excited about getting into these 2 chapters. So we just have like a few more lessons left to do in light, and then we are there. This one is going to go put our science away, meaning we're done with that for the day. This one came over to give me a couple extra hugs, which I guess her twin brother wants to come give hugs. All right, and this is very common throughout the day. They just randomly come up and give me hugs. And this is one part that I love about homeschooling, because if you think about it, all 3 of my older kids would be gone the whole entire day, and then my preschooler would be gone at least half day. So I just definitely wouldn't get all these special moments with them. And I'm sure these 2 wouldn't be able to hug like this during school. So.
And you would get so much cleaning done if we were gone.
All right, so she is putting the science away, and then I think we're gonna get going on math next, and that way it gives me a little break from all the reading. This little one needs my help because she got stuck on where she's at on reading eggs. All right, so we got her out of there, and I decided she's been doing reading eggs for a while, so I'm going to switch her on over to math seeds and do some number practice. So she's nice and happy over here, and she's not disturbing anybody or anything. Do I feel bad every now and then that she is, oh, hold on baby. Do I feel bad every now and then that she's on the computer at age 4? Yes, but it's educational things and she really loves it. Like, she was just singing along to so many songs that I definitely did not teach her, and she's just learning off of these games. So, all right, she is on lesson 9 on map 2. You're almost done with this map. Look. Should we click him? Should we do it?
Make the shape. Put the shapes together to make one bigger shape.
All right, are you sure? You ready?
Make a triangle.
Yep, then you gotta put those other triangles where they belong too.
Did it work there?
Yep, perfect. Where's the next one go? Yep, and where's the next one? Oh, try it again. It just didn't grab it when you tried it. You did it! High five. Good job. All right, make your circle. All right, so she is going again, then the twins just got their focus on 5s going. As you can see, it could be a pretty relaxed homeschool day. We do a combination of parent-led and video for them, and then next year, that's what I'm kind of questioning is, I think one of them does very good with the video and staying focused, and I think one of them definitely needs the hands-on with me. So I'm trying to decide what we're going to do for next year. All right, so while I was doing all that, my 5th grader here was preparing everything for math. So she has it out, she has it to the lesson that we're on. So we are multiplying decimals. All right, so she's been doing very good with decimals. So we're on lesson 121 out of 165. So we're super close to being done. I will look ahead and see if we're going to do 100% of lessons or not, but it's definitely doable within this next month to get all of math done. Are you excited that we're getting stuff done? So we only have 2 chapters left in English. We have 2 chapters left in science. So we're on chapter 13 out of 18 as far as math. So we have just a little bit further to go in math than the other ones. And then history, we're a little bit further behind, I believe, but we'll deal with that in a minute. All right, so we utilize whiteboards all the time for our homeschool. It's a nice, easy way to keep down on the paper clutter that ends up everywhere, and that way they can be very hands-on. We do have a homeschool room downstairs in the basement that has a huge magnetic whiteboard on the wall that we absolutely love, but because the twins were DVD and the preschooler was DVD and then my 5th grader was online, we just kind of have done everything upstairs this year on this main level. But I am considering next year getting back downstairs into the schoolroom because I think there's less distractions to it. It really gives them the direction that while we're in that room, it is all about school and that you can't go and do 20 other things, because no homeschool is perfect. Like right now, my kindergartners are in sharpening pencils, even though they know that there's extra pencils just to grab and stuff, but it's their little way knowing mom is distracted, meaning they can go and do other things that they so wish. So we're gonna get going on math.
Mama, it's snowing in windy now.
What are you doing? All right, I do feel like half of my day is just reminding people to stay on task, but that's mom life for you. All right, now, honestly, back to math. All right, so for math today, we are multiplying decimals. Decimals. All right, so. All right, so what is the answer to 10 times 100?
1,000.
10 times 10? 10 times 1? 100 times 100?
A million?
100 times 100?
10,000.
100 times 10?
100 times 10 is 1,000.
100 times 1?
100.
Okay, so how do you know that those were all the answers?
Because all you do is add the zeros that were there.
Yeah, so how many zeros you have, and you bring them over, and then your comma goes 3 back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then we're gonna focus on that. All right, so how do you think that we do this? So then if we look here, it says multiplication of a decimal by a decimal is finding part of a part. So multiplication of a decimal by a decimal is finding a part of a part. So 4/10 times 3/10 equals what? It means finding 4/10 of 3/10. So you shade 3/10, right? So then they shaded 4/10 of the 3/10. So how many tenths are shaded up there?
12.
12. Okay, so 4/10 times 3/10 equals what?
1,200.
Yeah, 1200s. Good job. Okay, so then they went ahead and they wrote it in fraction form too. So 4/10 times 3/10 is 12/100. Okay, so here you're going to use 2 colors to shade the part to show the multiplication, then solve and write the decimal equation in the fraction form. So then 5/10 times 4/10 equals what?
20 hundredths.
Okay, because there's 20 shaded, right, that are overlapping right here. So 20 hundredths, so double check this, is 5/10 times 4/10. Does that equal 20/100? Mm-hmm. All right, keep going.
When the old one's gone under the knife, and I can feel.
So so here is a perfect example where you just utilize what you need out of the teacher's manual. So I did do the review and I wrote down all these right here onto our whiteboard and I had her review that. But then I looked through what came up next and it was just confusing her instead of helping her. And so I went ahead and I explained it in a completely different way that I knew that she could understand. And so I don't want to give too much information that she's just confused at the end of the day. I just want her to absorb what she needs to absorb and utilize it that way. So utilize the curriculum to how you need it. Don't worry about doing absolutely every single number in every single lesson.
Morning hours are clear a lot as any to see the horizon and the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this.
All right, so here it says count the decimal places in the factors to find the decimal place in the product. So the factors are these, right? And the product is down here. So what it means is there's 1 place to the right of the decimal, right? And here there's 1 place to the right of the decimal. So if you add 1 place plus 1 place, it's 2 places, which means this decimal needs to bump over 2 places. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's do this one together. If you count over to the decimal, how many is there in the front?
1.
Okay, and the second one?
1.
Okay, so 1 plus 1 is?
2.
Okay, so now count from the back and go over 2 spots.
2.
Yeah, so 0.27. So 27 hundred. The 5th grader is still working on her math. She understands it, so I'm walking away to check around everybody else here. Then the preschooler is still up here working on stuff. What are you doing? Mwah, I love you. Where are you gonna work on?
I need a single number. I need a single number.
Choose the number 391.
I don't know what the
Oh yeah, that's a little past you, isn't it?
I do.
So it's wanting the 4-year-old to find the number 391, which is a little bit above her level. So my consideration on this is probably one of the twins was playing underneath her name, because it definitely is like according to their age. Like you do a little placement test at the beginning and then it sets it on what level they should be on. And so, yeah, that one's a little bit too hard for her. So we're going to go back and I'm gonna find something she can do instead. Yeah, you gotta keep going to get to it. All right, so she's gonna keep going on her reading aid. She's almost done with her time there. She's got a tiny little owie on her knee here, so she's got her pant leg up all day for it. Then here's the bad thing about the DVDs or video lessons. I'm seeing them get bored. Like, they're kind of draining out a little bit here and they're not as interactive as I need them to be. So we either do more breaks, or this is why part of me is considering not doing video lessons next year, but then the other part of me likes them because they have a lot of extra information that I might not do or have the resources to do as a homeschool mom. So I'm really torn, and I figure here really soon I'll kind of know in my gut what is correct for each child. So I do find as the day goes on, more and more I'm telling them, I need to hear you answer that, like beat the teacher done, all that kind of stuff. So this is the point in the day that I get up more often and do more rounds on the kids to try to get them involved. So when I do this parent-led, the way I get them involved is I end up saying, like, or let's say we're doing the beginning blend TH versus SH. And so I'll say, if the word starts with TH, then run to this window. But if it starts with SH, then run to, usually it's the back door, but you can't see it, there we go, to the back door. And so they're very, very motivated that way because they just see it as a fun running around game, and I know that they know what the answers are then. And so that's why I'm partially considering doing some parent-led. I just really have to balance. I'll have a 6th grader, 2 first graders, and possibly a kindergartner. I haven't decided if I'm for sure. Maturity-wise is the question there. I think academically she's ready for kindergarten. I just don't know if maturity-wise, if she has the attention span. Here's another cuddle. Maturity-wise, I don't know if she quite has the attention span to do it. My gut is kind of leaning towards no right now. I'm just gonna let her be a preschooler again. All right. Keep going. All we have left is the rest of math and then history for 5th grade, and then you guys are almost done with Focus on 5s, aren't you? Here is the hard part about time change. So it is 12:21, but we ate breakfast so late because of the time change too, and it just being a gloomy, gloomy day, which now it's a little brighter, but I will show you the snow. So here's the snow. It's definitely still coming down like crazy. I am hearing from everybody that the roads are super bad. The kindergartners are taking a little bathroom / drink break and play break. So what I usually do is I set the Alexa timer for 10 minutes or for 15 minutes, whatever seems appropriate. I find if I give them longer than that though, it's very hard to pull them back to school. So we do limit it to 10 to 15 minutes, and they could do whatever they wish during that 10 to 15 minutes. But when the timer goes off, my expectation is that they drop whatever they're doing and they come back. So here's the hard part about it snowing again, and I had kind of said this in a recent video, is snow equals I need to go out and I need to do our sidewalks and our driveway. And we have a big driveway, and then we live on a corner lot, so we have a lot of sidewalks to do. And the bad part about this snow today is that it is a rain, sleet, snow mix, and so it's just going to be too wet and heavy to use a snow blower for. So it's just going to take me longer to get it done today. And so that just takes away from my time that I could be productive. So the kids are starting to ask for some lunch, and so I need to get planning that. A lot of times I do have stuff written out for ideas for lunch, but I haven't gotten to that because I worked all weekend. So I'm going to see first if there's leftovers in the fridge that we can utilize for lunch, and then if there's not, it's probably going to be something nice and convenient. This week is spring break week from dance, and so the nice part of that is the whole entire week we don't have to rush to get done with things to get out of the house, and therefore we can have bigger supper meals together as a family versus before I was doing our lunch meal as the bigger one together as a family, because we don't get home until 6:30 or 7 o'clock at night to get supper going. All right, let's go figure out lunch.
Felt I'm done with the defense. Drove back and climbed over your fence. Had to show you that I was a mess.
All right, so the kids decided they wanted some chicken nuggets, which isn't very often, and that's a very nice and convenient meal for me to make. So they'll do some chicken nuggets. Then they wanted pineapple slices with them. They have been obsessed with pineapples lately. And then I'm going to give them some dry roasted peanuts because they all love that. And then I am going to go ahead and have some leftovers. I made a roast with potatoes and carrots, and then there's some gravy in the one underneath. So I'm going to have that leftovers because not all the kids end up eating that, and that sounds better than chicken nuggets for me. I also want to share with you, I just ended up ordering this. I have been looking for one of these. This is definitely a lot smaller than I expected, but that's probably a good thing for storage. But I had been looking for one of these that is a calendar time all in one. And so it has the days of the week, the months of the year, practicing what time it is on the clock, all the numbers of the month, what season it is, and what weather it is outside. So this is going to be very helpful for my preschooler here. And then it's also going to be helpful for my twins. But I feel like for the twins, definitely the two areas that will be really helpful for them is we could do the clock time, so that part's helpful, but then actually seeing what the days of the month written out look like, and then seeing what the days of the week look like written out, and recognizing those even better than what they do. So this is something we're going to start doing. Again, for next school year, kind of one thing that's on my mind that I do miss with my kids is doing morning time basket. So every school year up until this one, we have always done like a family unit time or a morning time basket. And while we still do read aloud time and arts and craft time and all that kind of stuff, I definitely miss doing like stuff as a family unit. And so I'm really, ladies, I'm so torn on what to do for next year. So, and I think the other little pressure is we're 6th grade next year, but then it's the higher grades. It's 7th, 8th, 9th, like where are we going from here on? And I know that it's not that huge of a deal, but it kind of is also. So, all right, getting lunch done. Okay, so I just opened it up, took it out. These actually like are really sturdy. They're hard to move. I was a little bit worried that they would just fling around, but they really don't. They actually have like a good system in place for them. So I'm sure my kids are going to be so super excited to be able to do them. And so this one's a little looser. Whoops. All right, so this one just fell off, but looking at it, I think all I need to do is put a little bit of glue right here and glue it back together. Although that is a little disappointing that that just happened when I opened it up. All right, so here I have some Gorilla Glue, and I'm just gonna go ahead and fix this because I know if I don't do it now, it's gonna be out of sight, out of mind, and then when we go to utilize this, it won't be fixed yet. So just do it right away, and then it's done. All right, so 30 seconds later, and that is already fixed and drying. Then my daughter has decided, meaning I'm in the kitchen getting lunch going, that she wanted to bring history into the kitchen. So we are going to sit here and do history at the counter.
Come.
You. Here.
2. Mine. Is this. There. That.
And now get ready for bed.
So that's the twins. At the end of their Focus on Fives, every single day they review a whole bunch of splash words, or sight words is what you might know them as. So they end up hopping up and down and they review all those, and then at the end she always says splash, and that means they just get to jump on the floor like they're little frogs. So they have tons of fun doing it that way. All right, back to history. All right, so for history, we are at lesson 109 out of 180 lessons. So we're a little bit further behind on this than the others. We are starting with rulers of the iron fist, and it's going to be talking about Hitler and all that kind of stuff. I know some families don't like bringing these subjects into their home, but I really, really believe, all right, let's do this, because especially right now, this is huge on the news for this last year. I really, really believe that we learn from our history, and we learn from the errors that people before us have made. So I don't believe everything that has happened in history is right, morally and ethically, and definitely actually probably about half of it is very ethically bad. But I also believe that you learn by mistakes. So that being said, when they're doing things right now, such as taking down monuments of historical figures just because they owned slaves or they did something wrong in history, part of me really cringes when that happens, because if you delete history, it's going to repeat itself. You're not going to learn the lesson that came from that history. And so part of me really wishes they would just leave it up there. There's a reason why it's up there, and that's so that you could teach younger generations about the history and learn from it. And I really pray that, you know, those stories do keep getting passed down and stuff so that we can learn from that history. So we choose to go ahead and we do teach the hard parts of history. But we also make sure to talk about it from a character and moral and ethical standing as to why it was right and why it was wrong, and how we can, in our current lives, make sure not to repeat those things that people before us did. Alexa, set 8-minute timer.
8 minutes. Starting now.
All right, chapter 13, the focus will be unbiblical forms of government led to much suffering of the world. So we are going to do years, if you look at your timeline there at the top, 1920 through 1935, okay? So Mussolini becomes Prime Minister of Italy. So do you think dictators sound nice? No, do you want the United States to have a dictatorship? No, and that's why we have the government to keep checks and balances, right? To make sure everything is moral and ethical. All right. All right, so while we were reading, we heard these bells jingle, and so we had taught our dog, go ahead and let her out, honey. We had taught our dog to ring these bells whenever she needed to go outside and go potty. So these are actually really nice because my nose was in a book and I wouldn't have noticed that she was at the front door, but I heard these bells jingle, and so I knew that she needed outside to go potty. So the other funny thing, oh my gosh, there is like a lot of snow and it's just coming down nonstop. All right, again, back to history. That is all for the first part of this homeschool day. So I take you all the way up to lunchtime. I will be posting part 2 here in a couple of days with what we do after lunchtime. Make sure to check back, and I will come back and I will link that video down below after I get it posted for y'all. I hope you found this video helpful, and I look forward to seeing y'all on the next video.
You know my body